Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and thanks for joining me again on another episode on the French Cooking Academy. So today is a special day because, of course, Christmas is nearby, and there was a special festival going on in Lyon. Actually, it takes place in December, called the Lumière Festival, where the whole city is lit up with all kinds of fancy lights on all these monuments and things like that. It's quite extraordinary. But the thing that was happening there's a lot of people on the street who were selling this Christmas wine, and this mulled wine, this warm wine. And I thought, it's a good idea to kind of try to revisit these particular types of things, this spiced wine. I'm not a fan of the warm one, and I went to do something a bit different. So I went to search, and what I found is really what's called the Hypocras, which is a Middle Ages type of spiced wine that has to be served actually cold rather than hot. So I kind of prefer this. I find that recipe, which is pretty good. Now this recipe dates back already even from as far as the Roman goes, and the truth behind that recipe, the reason why there was spices, it was because there was a lot of bad wine at the time. When the wine was a bit corked, it was not of good quality, well, people thought about adding some spices to it to make it better. Also interesting fact is that it all depended on how much money you had and what kind of spices you could afford. So the spices tend to vary. Now today we're going to look at the classic version: red wine, honey, cinnamon, cardamom, clove, ginger, and I'm adding my own touch with a little bit of fresh orange to have something a little bit more fruity, a little bit more festive, and it's a very easy drink to do, and I think it's going to be pretty good. So let's have a look how to make it. And now let's start the recipe. So you have all the ingredients listed in the video description. For the preparation, very simple. You're going to peel and slice your ginger, make some slices of oranges. The cinnamon is going to stay as is, and you need to make a little spice infuser. So I'm going to use a little clove here, and what I've done, whatever you can see in that spoon here, this is the mix of cloves and cardamom seeds that I have crushed with a rolling pin. And just to show you, here are the shells of the cardamom pod. So what you want to do, you don't want to put the shells, and you want to extract the seeds, mix them with the cloves, and crush everything, like a rough crush, and not fine powder. And I'm going to use that clove here to make a little infuser bag. For the rest, it's just weighing the honey. You got your bottle of wine, and we're ready to go. And now let's discover together how to make this famous Hypocras, and this Middle Ages spice wine. So we're going to start, I'm using a cast iron pan here, and you have to kind of warm up the wine a little bit. And you've got two options. Basically, you use a whole bottle of wine. You can either boil the wine if you want to get rid of the alcohol, but I like to keep some of that in there. So because we've got honey and we need to really make sure it melts, we're going to just warm up the wine slightly, and then I'm going to start to add the other ingredients in. All right, so as you can see, there's some little smoke and foam that starts to appear here. So my wine is warm enough. Don't want to boil it, and I'm just going to start by adding my honey in. And it's very important, like honey was cheaper at the time than sugar. So some people will make it with sugar, but I think honey's got that natural thing to it. So all of the honey in. Okay, so all the honey is in, and I'm keeping my heat on low there, as you can see. It needs to be a bit just slightly smoking, so it feels like making a potion. I'm going to start to add all my stuff basically. So we've got here a bit of ginger. That's actually quite a lot of ginger. All right, and you get the idea. It's really infused with all these interesting spices. And finally, you see, this is my little cute little spice bag. That's all the spices were in there. So I'm going to put this in there, and I'm going to wait to make sure the honey really, melts and goes through. I'm just going to leave this to cook very, very gently. On a simmer. I'm adding some oranges here for like a good 5 minutes, and after that, basically, you can turn your heat off, and we're almost done. My spiced wine is now ready. I've turned my heat off, and the final step consists of, if you want, to transfer the wine into a carafe like this and store it in your fridge. It has to be macerating in the fridge at least one night. Some people say that 2 nights is even better. You can store this spice wine in your fridge for up to 10 days, so it's a great option if you want to serve it for Christmas. You make it the day before and you can leave it in the fridge, and as long as the days of celebrations are going, you can take it out and serve it as an aperitif. It has to be served cold, in glasses, not ice cold, and no ice cube. I'll try to put a picture on the screen to show you a little presentation idea. But that's it, that's finished the recipe for the Hypocras. Of course, don't forget the oranges were optional. You don't have to put them if you want the true, simple, Middle Ages style type of Hypocras, but I think it's a great little recipe to try. And I wish you a great holiday. I will do another video, of course, before Christmas. And if you have any question about that recipe, if you can maybe your own version of the Hypocras, well, let me know. Use the comment section as always. Instagram, send me a picture. French Cook Academy, that's the hashtag for Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook. You can become a patron on my Patreon page, and now we've got the new online school, and we've actually reopened the registration. You can register your interest on the school for when we're gonna reopen our next courses. But that's it for me. I'll see you all next time on my next video. Take care all. Bye bye.
you